Why It's Possible is a new play by Sophia Fabiilli, running from September 19th to the 29th at the Kingston Grand Theatre, which explores the complex relationship between mother and child, life's transitions, and parenting in precarious times. Joining me to tell us more about it are playwright Sophia Fabiilli and actor Zoë Sweet. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
I understand this has been a project that's 4 years in the making. Give me just sort of an overview of the project.
Zoe and I and our very good friend Sarah Kitts all found ourselves in Kingston during the pandemic with theaters closed and out of work. And Zoe had the very good idea that this was a perfect time to start developing a new play because it does take a long time to get a play from ideation to opening night. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of gathered socially distanced around a picnic table and started pitching some ideas about what would be a really exciting play premise for us to explore. And then from that, Zoe and Sarah are mums and I'm a teacher, and we started digging into this question of how do we support, young people in their exploration of their gender identities, and that felt like a really juicy and interesting question to dig into. And then we really wanted to work with the local community and do some really careful and thoughtful research and consultation. So we worked with Trans Family Kingston, some amazing individuals there who have helped us research and dig into this topic so that we could present a really fully fleshed narrative.
Nice. Zoe, tell me about the name change, because my understanding is that this wasn't the first name of the piece. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, naming a play is a very tricky process. It's sort of like naming a baby, I would say. And so I think we mulled over a name for quite a long time, and Sophia is particularly good at coming up with names, so we finally landed on the previous name. But in consultation with some of our collaborators, it just wasn't telling the whole story of the play. It had the word impossible in it, and the fact that what the play is talking about is all the possibilities that we can explore when raising children, as opposed to taking a negative view. We're really looking at the open-endedness. And so we decided to change the name to reflect more of the heart of the play, which is why it's possible, as opposed to the impossibility.
Why is it so important to have these conversations? Because parenting is obviously this very complex job, and maybe even more so these days. But why is it important to have that conversation and engage the conversation, and with what is a pretty heady topic?
Well, first of all, I don't know if parenting is reflected that truthfully on stage all that often. There is a line in the show where Beth, my character, says, "Aren't we beyond pretending that motherhood is this pretty perfect thing?" And I think, especially in the age of social media, there is a presentation of what life should look like, of what parenting should look like, and I think this play does a really beautiful job of stripping that away and really delving into the challenges of raising a child. And the challenges of supporting a child through these, tough times. And what happens too when a child doesn't necessarily live up to what your expectation will be and is. Yeah.
Sophia, I was reading an article where you had mentioned that playwriting is like putting together a puzzle. And again, the complex, heady topic here. Yeah. Can you explain that a little bit?
Totally. So I think, two things come to mind. The first is that it does feel like there's moments, especially now that I don't even know what draft I'm on at this point, but I'm still finding connections and little ties that I can find within the script that are new, even though that they're all kind of there, but I'm starting to piece things together. And so it kind of does feel like, oh, this piece should actually go here and that piece should go here, and oh, I can bring back that image that I planted early and bring it back. But I think the other thing that it summons for me as like a metaphor, which I love, is that, as we've been developing this piece, the conversation around gender and young people has been developing and developing and developing, and it feels even more like hot button topic than it did 4 years ago when we first started working on it. So, and in many ways, it feels like a lot of those, trans rights are being stripped back, and it's a scary time. So, as we kind of got further and further into the script, I think we've been also like influenced by the kind of outside world. And as we built our team, and we've had amazing designers and our director, Evalyn Parry, who's an incredible artist, all these new eyeballs on the script, it also helped us see parts of the puzzle that were missing, parts of the puzzle that could be more nuanced, parts of the puzzle that we can kind of go, to that next draft. So, and then generally, your job as a writer is never done. I will look at the script in a year and be like, what was I thinking? Like, it's just very, very normal, but yeah, it's a 1,000-piece puzzle for sure.
This is a one-person cast production. What are the challenges of that? Just really quickly here.
Zoe.
Big challenge, I'm assuming.
Well, first of all, it's going through an entire hour and a bit long journey without a break. It's 56 pages of text that one has to memorize. It's playing multiple characters and trying to, truthfully illuminate each of their journeys, even though one of them might have just a very short scene. It is connecting with the audience in a different way than you would necessarily with a scene partner on stage with you. That's just a few challenges.
It's a hard one, but Zoe's doing amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so so this is starting this week.
So we run September 19th to 29th at the Kingston Baby Grand Theatre, and tickets can be purchased on the Kingston Grand Theatre website.
Nice. And the next move is you're also going to be opening in Ottawa.
That's
after
right.
Kingston.
We're going to go to the Great Canadian Theatre Company in Ottawa in January and February.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish you best of luck. Thanks so much
Thank
for coming in
you.
and chatting with us today.
Thanks
for having us.